And just like that, March Madness is underway, and we are at the Sweet 16. I'm sure everybody's bracket is a complete bust right now. I know we got a couple of people out there still riding on all cylinders, calling upset off the upset. Shout out Rashad Phillips. But most people have struggled a little bit. So I just want to make a podcast real quick about the remaining Sweet 16 teams and projections moving forward. Go ahead and fill out that ESPN Second Chance bracket because I got you with the Sweet 16. We start off in the South region. Baylor, the 1 seed, still alive, still looking strong, and shocked to many people, Villanova survived 2 upsets, and now they find themselves here in the Sweet 16 against Baylor. I'm still going to go with Baylor here. No Colin Gillespie. I feel like Villanova has to fill that finally. Baylor, let's see if they're the real deal. Let's see if there's the real one team. This is going to be a great matchup here, a very good game. Baylor favored by 6.5. I've got Baylor to pull off this dub. Also in the South region, we got number 3 seed Arkansas facing off against the Cinderella story Oral Roberts. Now, while I did not say that Oral Roberts was going to beat Ohio State in the last bracketology episode, I told you to watch out for the best player in college basketball, at least the leading point per game, Max Aramis, and he has been dominant. Kevin O'Connor has been the missing piece. Everyone knew what Max Amos was going to bring, but Kevin Obner has been amazing. Stellar through the first 2 games, and honestly, the key question is can he continue that against the number 3 seed Arkansas, who's looked very well in the first 2 games. I like for Arkansas to move past in this matchup. This is going to be a barn burner, though. Arkansas is favored by 11, and I would not be shocked if Oral Roberts found a way to continue the Cinderella story. We've seen in recent years, and we've seen this year as well, guard play wins March Madness, and Max Abrams is the best guard in college basketball. And when you have the best scorer in basketball, you always have a chance to win the game. I'm going to go with Arkansas here, but do not be shocked about Oral Roberts if they find a way to advance to the Elite Eight. In the Midwest region, we got Loyola Chicago and Oregon State. I talked about Oregon State's flame running out and those guys dropping the ball, but they have been firing on all cylinders. Senior guard Ethan Thompson, at this point, Oregon State great. Most games played ever by an Oregon State Beaver. Ethan Thompson has been absolutely amazing. I hopped on the Cade Cunningham bandwagon. I had Oklahoma State going very far, but Oregon State found a way to end that, and now they face off against Loyola Chicago, the Cinderella stories of all Cinderella stories, Sister Jean and crew. And now the question is, who's going to win? Loyola Chicago is favored by 6.5. But I got Oregon State in this game. They're big as hell down low. 7'1" big fella Roman Silva. And you're going to see Cameron Kruvik have himself a tough time. He's been the most important piece to Loyola Chicago over both of their Cinderella runs. I am not sure if he can continue that against Oregon State. Oregon State could be the team off the Pac-12. They are winning again. I got them beating Loyola Chicago here as they pull off the upset. Syracuse and Houston. Syracuse has become my favorite team in this tournament, and that's because Buddy is a effing bucket. Buddy is that good. Buddy Boeheim has put this Syracuse team on his back for back-to-back games, and now we get to see him in a star-studded matchup against Houston full of scorers. We saw Houston pull out a very, very tough game last round versus Rutgers. But I'm rolling with Buddy here. I'm rolling with Buddy in Syracuse. The 2-3 causes teams problems in March. You don't get that much time to prepare for what you're going to face. And what makes Syracuse so dangerous in the tournament is if they get a schedule where they don't face a dominant point guard, they have a chance to win. And the 2-3 Syracuse zone without a dominant point guard is impossible to beat. I was listening to my man Rashad Phillips talk about it, and then I heard my dad talk about it all the time. We even broke down footage one day of how Syracuse 2-3 zone is. You have to be able to move the zone and penetrate the middle because they're so long and they're going to make you shoot bad shots on the wing. I don't think Houston has that dominant guard this year. Quentin Grimes is amazing, but I'm not sure if he's the dominant point guard that can beat this Syracuse zone. Houston is going to face an advantage that Rutgers did not face, as they do have 4 to 5 days to prepare for the Syracuse defense. But man, Buddy Boeheim is an issue. Moving on to the East bracket, I chose LSU to beat Michigan here, and Michigan played amazing in round 2. No Isaiah Livers. Hunter Dickinson was not that exceptional. Franz Wagner struggled, and Michigan found a way to get it done. Shardae Brown, Eli Brooks played exceptional, and that was a huge, gigantic reason that Michigan was able to pull out this game against LSU, a team full of scorers. Props to Juwan Howard for rotating a tight rotation, and in a game where Davis and Williams off the bench weren't too helpful, he still found a way to get those guys in there to give his team rest, because as the game got tight, you saw LSU start to struggle with freshness. Cam Thomas and Javonte Smart were both drained. Michigan, the more winded team, were able to pull out that game, and now you see Michigan go to a very tough game against Florida State, a team that goes 9-10 deep. 6th man of the year, Scotty Barnes, a top 10 NBA prospect, doesn't even start on this team. And you ask yourself, can Michigan get it done without Isaiah Livers, a team that now goes so deep? I'm going to say no. Florida State goes to the foul line a decent amount. They're very long and very athletic. Hunter Dickinson in foul trouble is a nightmare for Michigan in this game, with the rotation that can really only go 6 to 7 deep. I think Michigan feels the loss of Isaiah Livers here. I had Florida State moving on in the East region. Alabama against UCLA, a.k.a. scorers. UCLA is the LSU of the Pac-12, and they have been exceptional in the first 2 rounds, finding a way to put an end to Tom Izzo's tournament, beating the 6th seed BYU, and then stopping the Cinderella story of Abilene Christian, who basically just had Shaka Smart have to go to Marquette. So this UCLA team is solid. Now UCLA finds themselves in a hell of a game with Bama. I think Bama is the 2nd best team in the NCAA tournament right now behind Zaga. Bama might run these guys off the court. UCLA, they're going to try to play with Bama, I believe. Try to play the up-tempo ball, go basket for basket. And that is a cardinal sin against this Nate Oates Alabama Crimson Tide team. I got Bama winning this game in the East, moving on to the Elite 8. In the last bracket to discuss, my only perfect bracket, the West region, Gonzaga facing off against Creighton. I lied. Not my perfect bracket, because I did have Ohio beating Creighton. Almost close to perfect bracket, though. Creighton against Gonzaga. I got Gonzaga moving on here, a 13.5 point favorite. I just think Gonzaga is the best team in basketball throughout this season. Jalen Suggs is the missing piece, and with him on their team, Kispert and Drew Timme are able to play conscience free. And this Gonzaga team, I think, is the best team we've ever seen them have. I think they move on to the Elite 8 to face off against USC. I think the Mobley boys here are just a little too big for Oregon. Evan Mobley is going to go ahead and solidify himself as the best big man in this draft, and possibly the 2nd player taken off in the draft this upcoming season, as he leads USC to the Elite 8 in a great matchup against Gonzaga in the West region. We've got a great host of games coming up March 27th through the 28th this weekend for the Sweet 16. And I will be back to find out who advances to the Final Four. My predictions is Gonzaga versus Alabama and Baylor against Houston. We'll see if that comes true. And man, I'm just saying, Houston, please watch out for Buddy in the Syracuse Orange. Until next time, y'all, March Madness is live. And of course, the only song you should be listening to all month is Future, March Madness.